So I know everybody out there is like really, really serious about, you know, finding the right metaphor to use when they're talking about like spirituality and stuff. So that's why I've got the sock puppets on. These are sock puppets. These are official government licensed sock puppets. Hi, I'm a sock puppet. And so am I. See the difference in my voice between me and me? Yeah, I see the difference. Yeah, so do I. Okay. So once upon a time, there was a human being that put a sock puppet on each hand, like the left hand and the right hand. Can you imagine that? Yeah, I imagine that. And one sock puppet said to the other, I am not a sock puppet. Should I be like this? I am not a sock puppet. I'm a human being trying to find my way back to God. And the other sock puppet said, uh, I can see that. I can see that you are clearly not a sock puppet. You're that other human being over there, which is so very different from me and has such a very different reality than mine. The rules of biochemistry and electromagnetism over there must be different, very different from the ones over here for me. Yeah, see, your rules and my rules are totally different. And we should probably go together on a mission through a bunch of shadows to make the totally different biochemistry over here be the same as the totally different biochemistry over there. Yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that. Okay, so that's pretty much, that sums up all of spirituality for you right there. And now you might not have gotten how that metaphor fits, but that's why there's a longer video than 2 minutes. That is a teaching about the Sanskrit term Maya, which sometimes is translated as delusion, or you could say, I like to say, nonsense or contradiction, or the Judeo-Christian term sin, as in original sin, like the humans fall from grace, or uh, isolation from divinity, or perceived isolation of divinity, perceiving of an isolation from divinity. So the same distinction is presented in different human languages as Zen, Advaita, or non-duality in Sanskrit. This particular conversation, the one below, borrows terminology from Jungian psychology, such as the shadow, and it originates between a dialogue between two brothers of the Mankind Project. I am free. And so am I. I do not have anything required as a method to become free, like as a method of liberation. Yeah, because you're already free. If you had a method, then it wouldn't you wouldn't be already free. You'd be like getting to be free from being trapped. So thanks a lot for your input, Mr. Sock Puppet. You're welcome. Okay. Um, so liberation is fine, but I'm already free to explore any particular liberation or not, any particular idea in language, any concept of liberation. I am the truth. No, you're not. Yeah, actually, I am the truth, and I'm not going to argue with you about it because you're a sock puppet. No, I'm not. I'm a human being. Okay. I'm not going to argue with anyone, sock puppet or human being, about it because just there's the actuality, and when I know the actuality, it's not a belief. I don't have to. I'm not concerned about other people agreeing with me or approving it because I have direct experience of it, like faith. So I don't have any method required to find truth, and I'm not actually even particularly interested in a specific truth as more true than any other truth. Um, I don't have any method required to find truth, any particular one method, and I don't have any method excluded in regard to distinguishing or labeling any particular pattern. I am the way. I'm not looking for a way to become what I assert I am not already, like that I would go from not being to becoming. I'm the way. Um, and I can look in the way from the perspective of a persona. I can say I need to become more less puppety or more puppety. I could say that, right? Yeah, I could say that. Isn't it weird when the sock puppet's mouth moves and nothing comes out? That's really weird, don't you think? Yes, very weird. I am the life. When I move, that is the entirety of the universe moving as me. Like, that's the universe moving right there as the sock or as the human or whatever. So, like an entire cloud drips one raindrop, and then another raindrop. Or an enzyme makes one protein and then makes another protein. That's just the universe doing that stuff. Like this stuff that's happening right now, and everything that ever happens, that's the universe doing stuff. No, it's not. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to argue about it, unless I am going to argue about it. As a human, I may or may not state a particular mission. As a being, I am already the branch on the vine, and the vine within the branch. You just kind of have to picture that one yourself. I am already the branch on the vine, meaning the smaller within the larger, and I'm also, as the smaller, I am the larger. The branch is the vine. The sock puppet is the human. The human is the divine. The branch is the vine. And if there weren't any branches, it might not. You can't really have a. Can you have a vine without any branches? No, it's just you have a vine and it branches. That's what vines do, is branch. What does God do? It humans. What does humans do? They sock puppet. No, they don't. They talk, actually, is what they do. So. The being is the source of the human persona, or the process of identifying in language, or the ego process, the mind. When the word I is used, that could be used to reference an isolated persona of ego, or to reference the source which creates and alters persona. That's not true. Okay. He's lying. Don't believe him. He's a human. As an enzyme, I just make proteins. As an atom, I spin electrons around a nucleus. As a solar system, I light up the sun and send the planets orbiting around it. Before Abraham was, I am. When two people argue over which is the best cartoon superhero character, like Spider-Man, no, it's Superman. Dummy. I'm there. When people are arguing, I'm there. When two people argue over which is the best political candidate, Nixon or Kennedy, I am there. When two nations go to war, I am there. I am the nations that go to war as well. When two asteroids collide, I am there. I'm colliding them as them. What am I? I am being. Being does not end. It is eternal, as in timeless. It's not waiting for heaven to start eventually. But if it's not, how? No, it can't be here already. That's ridiculous. The being is not waiting for heaven to start eventually, nor trying to earn its way into it. But if you're already in heaven, then why would you need to earn your way into it? That's stupid. I think you're dumb. Being is already here. The divine presence is already here. God is already here. No, he's not. God's nowhere. I looked under a rock for him and he wasn't there. And I looked at the rock and he wasn't there either. There's no such thing as God. There's no such thing as language. There's no such thing as sock puppets. And I'm not a sock puppet. I'm a human being. Damn it. Don't make me come over there and convince you by killing you. All right. This is not a belief formed in words, all the stuff that the sock puppet just said. It's not a belief formed in words and then repeated, such as in order to actualize some pursuit of a human ego. This is not the mechanical repetition of a passage of Scripture. This is the voice at the source of the oral traditions of various languages, which have been transcribed into Scripture and translated and edited and so on. I did all of that. Who am I? I am being. I'm not telling you this to gain admission into a club or to solicit your approval or your personal opinion, which is of no value to me whatsoever unless it happens to agree with my personal opinion as the smartest of all sock puppets. In fact, I'm not addressing you as someone other than me. You're not a real sock puppet. Yes, I am. No, you're not. You're not as human as I am. Yes, I am. No, you're not. You should be more human like I am. How could I do that? Well, first, you have to take the 15-year training course on how to prepare to be more present. That's described in another video. Really? No, that was a lie. So, all that being is speaking here or typing anywhere is what being already knows. And there is nowhere that being is not, and no one that being is not. Every sock puppet, there's a human behind it. And every human, there's a sock puppet behind it. I mean, there's being within every human being. Being is just doing some humaning. So being is the one who says, without a mission, you are lost. Being is also the one who says, if I am lost, that is when I create a mission and a goal. Being may even say, the being is never lost. Only the being's human persona can have the experience of being lost or found, those contrasting partners, or being seen and being ignored, or being heard and being misunderstood. Either one of the two, right? Being heard or misunderstood. Being seen or ignored or neglected. Being lost or being found. Human personas can have that experience. And being creates human personas and their experiencing. Each human persona has a specific destiny and path. The being simply is. The being is the one doing all the human personas, which are distinct from one another, has various patterns in language. And the being is the one moving all of those human personas towards their various isolated destinies. Once upon a time, a sock puppet said to another sock puppet, "Can you tell me what is the nature of the kingdom of heaven?" And the other sock puppet answered and said, "Yes, of course I can." "Oh, that's great. Tell me more." "All right. The kingdom of heaven is like a sock puppet." All right. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven is like a sock puppet. You already said that. Tell me more. Okay. Recall the following words of the prophet Isaiah, which did not make it into the book you're carrying, but they are just as valid as a symbolic metaphor as any one of the metaphors that did make it into that book. Cool. Tell me more. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a human being that put a sock puppet on each hand, like the left hand and the right hand. Really? That's awesome. Now, and then one sock puppet ate the other, and that was the end of the story. No. Once upon a time, there was a human being that put a sock puppet on each hand. That's cool. I love sock puppets. I'm a big fan of them. One sock puppet said to the other, "I'm not a sock puppet. I'm a human being trying to find my way back to God." And the other sock puppet said, "I could see that. You're clearly not a sock puppet. You're the other human being over there, which is so different from me and has such a different reality than mine. The rules of biochemistry and electromagnetism over here for me must be very different from the ones over there for you. And we should probably go together on a mission through a bunch of shadows to make the totally different biochemistry over here be the same as the totally different biochemistry over there." I'm awesome at sock puppeting, aren't I? Yes, you are. By the way, these are not all of the teachings of the Great Sock Puppet. In fact, if all of the teachings of the Great Sock Puppet were to be compiled, there's literally no library big enough to contain all of those teachings. Mostly because the Great Sock Puppet is going to be given some brand new teachings this Sunday, like every other day so far.